Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily Hindu analysis, and 26th June it is, and we are discussing these important articles for our improvement in our the understanding of the issues, current issues, and this will be extremely helpful in the daily edition of your knowledge, of your approach, and the thing that is ultimately needed in the UPSC format, that you have opinions about everything, and you know the standard information, you know the systematic approach, you know that how to deal with the issues in a standard way, in a effective way, and you have the ability to identify the problem, and you have the ability to give the solution there. So smartness, hard work, all these combinations, those are needed, and this approach is developed not in a single day or in a single month. It will take some time. So these daily issues are extremely important, because daily you are interacting with the best minds who are writing these articles, and the evening lesson, the MCQ lesson, that's also very crucial. Daily we are discussing 5 to 10 questions, and that in an isolated format. You will memorize all of them very easily, so digesting all that information is important. Affordable courses by StudyIQ, very important one by top faculties, and you just need your dedication. Everything else will be managed by these courses, and you can call on these numbers, and you can ask and chat on this website address. PDF I upload there on the Facebook page, but yesterday I faced a problem with my Facebook. I don't know what has gone wrong, but it was asking to identify myself, and then it got stuck and it is not moving further. So my Facebook page is temporarily unavailable, and I'm looking for the solution. If you can help me, then you please tell me what should I do, because it's stuck. It says that get started with the identification of yours, but it doesn't go anywhere, and the page is stuck. So I'm providing you my Telegram link, so I upload the PDF there. You can follow me on the Instagram also, so there I will give all these links. So on Telegram these PDFs will be available, and the Telegram link of StudyIQ you all know already. These are the words that I found today, and you can use them into sentences. Now the important article by M.K. Narayanan, the former National Security Advisor, and because he was the security advisor, so he knows what's important for security of a country, and how the political scenario and how the social scenario, all these things, they impact the security of a nation. So he says that the parliamentary democracy system is getting replaced very fast, and we are moving towards a presidential style vote. But you see, there is a condition with this country. Everything that moves as a new thing, that is introduced as a new thing, that is never in its spirit. So the presidential style that is being evolved in this country, that is not a true presidential style system, because that is a particular thing. It's not a wrong way, it's a particular style, and it has its own advantages and its own problems of itself. And in the same way, the way we have been following the Westminster model of parliamentary system, it has its own lacks, it has its own advantage. So this shift is not something that is very much standard in its sense, and the shift is very much unique in its sense, and it's some way problematic also, because the way we are moving towards this presidential system, which is not established till now as a presidential one, but some characteristics are developed, like people are voting on the name of a leader, not in the name of a party or a particular issue. And in this last Lok Sabha election, we have seen very bizarre and very problematic and very much concerning things, like issues were missing: employment, the climate change, and the economy, the all pressures. All these things were missing there, and just the nationalistic rhetorics were there, and Pakistan everywhere was there in all the debates, and the religion was a major issue. So this way, opposition, all these parties, they are just vanished. They are nowhere surviving in any sense. So there is no talk to discuss them. But the issue with our Prime Minister, that way is a new one, and it's not through a established system, it is through a distorted way, where people are choosing the leader there. They have extreme liking for that, and in a way they are not deciding about some pros or cons. They are not putting any logic there. They just are fan of a particular leader and they are voting for him. So that's the case. So in this way we are moving in this style. Savan Singh committee came in 1976 during the emergency period during Indira Gandhi's time, and it suggested that there should be a presidential system in this country and we should move away from the Westminster model. So it looks like something that is according to those recommendations which were not approved at that time by the Supreme Court. But now the shift that we are looking here, that is somewhat very much unique, and in a way it's very much a concerning thing for all of us. We have to think about all those major shifts. We have to think about the present situation of our democracy, present state of our politics, because politics is everything in this country. Whether we talk about economics, whether we talk about sports, whether we talk about any information issues, the debates, the popular opinions, the important ministries, everywhere there is politics, and without politics you cannot discuss anything. So your decision making, your approach, your character, and your approach to this UPSC examination, and the questions which will be there in the main stage and in the interview stage, they will have a certain tint, I must say, and that will be developed out of those observations with these issues. And issues are political one, purely they are political. And if we talk about the elections, if we talk about the Indian political system, if we talk about the administrative issues, the schemes and all, everything is political there. So in these political topics, you have to extract the information, right information, and the right understanding. That is much more important. So that's the case. And you see, we are a quasi federal system, and Prime Minister is the most important and de facto head of our state. But that thing is changing in a sense, and maybe it's a kind of a end of the parliamentary democracy in this country, and maybe in the future very soon we will have this presidential style system. So that is the case. Otherwise this article is very much political. You should go through it and you should understand what the writer wants to say here, because the writer is very important personality. Next, Mridal Sharma is talking about a different and unique topic, and that is again a huge concern, a humanistic issue, and human rights issues are there. This talks about the prisons of this country. She says that the prisons are always in news when some high profile cases there, some famous personality is going to jail or something like that, or a jailbreak happens, or any kind of terrorism related issues, they are there. And any custodial death, if that happens, then the jails are highlighted. NCRB releases data and prison statistics India, latest by 2016. After that they did not give any information. So that came, and in April it came, and it went largely unnoticed. Now what is the problem? Problem is that omission of certain key demographic data which are missing from this report. So they are actually signaling the rot in India's prison system that is ever going, and now things are becoming more and more problematic, because the scenario in India is very much aggressive. More and more cases we are observing, and many custodial deaths, unnatural deaths, more mental problems to these prisoners. These are happening, and the biggest issue is of the innocent people who may be there, and they are stuck in these jails, and they are under trials. Problem is, under trials means the case is not decided yet. It is not decided that these are criminals or not. According to the fundamental rules, the person should be presented before the magistrate within 24 hours. But you see, they are serving the period within jails because the trials didn't happen. Maybe they did not have a legal aid, because mostly these are from the poor population, and not aware, not educated, and unnecessary arrests. These are the huge and biggest problems. 4,33,000 people are in prison. 68% were under trials. Means there may be huge numbers of innocent people inside that, because you see, not all the police officials are honest. Maybe some are very much corrupt, maybe some are very much wrong people, and they are misusing their powers. They are getting these people behind the bars without any reason, out of some animosity, out of some political pressure or something like that, and that's all wrong reasons. So they are serving the under trial period, and issue is that months, years are gone, but these are not released. Issue is that there are certain provisions like section 436A of the CRPC, and it says that if the people if they would have convicted, then what kind of verdict they would have served. Maybe 2 years, 3 years, 1 year they've got. Then if they have served half the period of those punishments within this under trial period, then they should be released. So this is the section 436A of CRPC. It says that, but many officials are not known to this and many are unwilling to apply it. So still people are stuck in jails, and many times due to some political, religious, any kind of a wrong reason, they are putting people behind these bars, and they are not releasing them. Next, Law Commission of India also has said, it had recommended that under trials who have completed a third of their maximum sentence for offence attracting up to 7 years, means if maximum 7 years imprisonment is given, if that person is convicted, still he or she is not convicted. If he or she would be convicted, then the maximum term, if that is 7 years, if 1/3 of that period is already served during this under trial phase, then that person should be released and released on bail. But this is not done. So that is the kind of ignorance, that is a kind of a mistake our system is committing here, and nobody is concerned about that. What is the problem? Problem is the information about that. What is that information? Because in this report, every time they gave data regarding scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and minorities, religious details of these prisoners and all, so that there can be a study that how many Muslim, Dalits, Adivasis or any other groups are there, and why their numbers are high. There can be studies if these informations are available. But report of 2015 says about that, but the 16 one did not say anything about that. And after that, they did not release any report there. So latest information we do not have. Last full information we had in 2015. After that, it is maybe discontinued, and they are not releasing that. So that's a huge problem, and it was raised by opposition again, but again it was mocked. So that is the case of their particular profiles. And if there is no information available, then what kind of study can be done by NGOs or any social activist? So government or these authorities, they do not want these social activists to come to these jails, and they should know about all these tortures and all. They just want to keep these things secret. And you see, many concerning issues are there, like unnatural deaths, they are on a rise. Custodial deaths, they are on a rise. In UP, you see, in last 2 years, many cases were there, but the reports are not there. So how can we know about them? They will deny each and everything, but the report will say something, but the report is not in our hands. So that's a problem. So this kind of problem we have seen in the unemployment case, a demonetization case, and any other economic problem there. So information was not available, so we cannot do anything about that, and they will make any kind of claims that we need to accept there. So that's the burden of misinformation. And here, in the case of preventive detention, you see what preventive detention says. There is a fundamental right, and Article 22 says that preventive detention is still existing in India. It is not existing anywhere in this world, and it was the Britishers system that they put some people behind the bars when any kind of event was there. So if it is 15th August, 26th January or any religious festival is going on, then police will put some people behind the bars without any reason, without any committing of crime, or without any bail. That person can be kept there in the jail. So that's the case, and for 3 months they can keep that person. And you see, if the under trials are so many numbers and for months and years they are going on like that, then leave thinking about these preventive detention cases, because they are very harsh and anything can be done there. Nobody will take care about those people, because there may be many political reasons, and maybe there are habitual criminals, maybe there are terrorists, possible terrorists there, but there is a possibility that innocent people can also be there. So without trials, without any knowledge, without any information, how you keeping these people? This is the clear case of tyrannous system, and here no information you are giving about that. That's a bigger problem. So administrative, or which we may call at preventive detention, is used by authorities in J&K, and their numbers, you see, in 2015 90 people were arrested this way, and in 16, just after 1 year, 431 detainees were there. So they say that preventive detention is actually circumventing the regular criminal justice procedures, and you keep any person behind the bar without any reason, because this power is given to you. So that's why this preventive detention is always criticized, and it is already a very wrong system, and it is being misused heavily there. And you see, the prison statistics of 16 do not mention the number of prisons visits by official and non-official visitors also. So they are not telling us that how many people visited them, any social activist, any magistrate, any judges, any advocates, who visited and who not. They are not telling anything, and this is essential to uncover torture and other forms of ill treatment, increase transparency and balance the power asymmetry in the prison. That's the case. And the issue of mental torture and the mental health condition of these criminals or possible innocent people. What about those statistics? There are ways, there are systems which are established, but if you not follow them, you not give any right information about them, then how can you run a democracy there? So that's the case. Number of unnatural deaths in prison, they were 115 in 15, in 16 they rose to 231. And if information is not available, then what these authorities will say? If somebody would question them, then they will say that they have committed suicide, so they have died due to some natural reasons, there was some heart attack or something like that. They will not show their bodies to anybody, and this way they will hide all these truths, and no truth will come out. Mainly they are from poor sections, so any information can be suppressed regarding any kind of detail. So that's the problem. 77 suicides were there in 15, and they rose to 102 in 2016, and after that we do not have any data. So the indicators of magnitude of mental health concerns within prisons, they are also totally unknown. You see, 6,000, more than 6,000 people with mental illness, they were in jail in 2016 according to the official data. And you see, it does not provide information whether these prisoners were diagnosed with mental illness before entering the prison, or they became mentally ill after they get into these prisons. And think about those innocent people who are innocent. They are arrested for wrong reasons without any particular crime, and they have gone mentally ill because of that torture. So think about those people. This is something similar in a sense that the mobs are killing people on the road. Maybe they are torturing, maybe they are threatening them, and even they are killing them. But the great people of India, they are justifying each and everything, because whose responsibility is this? This is the responsibility of the government. Who will raise voice against that? Who will ask questions to these governments? Civil society, intellectual class in these articles, but these are called anti-nationals, and we are supporting them heavily. We are saying that these are anti-nationals, and we are so busy in finding anti-nationals in this country that we do not know anything about the reality, and these are the realities. Think about that person who died in Jharkhand, and I will talk about that later, but that's really a horrible phase in our democracy, and what kind of future we will have, we don't know, because it is not only about these prisoners, it is about the innocent people who may be there serving the under trial period. In 3 states, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, highest number of mentally ill people, but not a single psychologist or psychiatrist is there, not a single one. So huge these states are, like they are different countries. 3 countries they can be, because their populations are so huge, and not a single psychologist or psychiatrist they found there. So what kind of country is that, and what kind of development they are claiming? And that's why they are just in a way confusing you with all kinds of nonsensical issues. And that's why we are looking these kind of issues like Go Mata, nationalistic issues, and all kinds of nonsense related to the religion and all, we are stuck into those debates, because these kind of realities we will never see, because we are attracted towards those sensations. And here something is going on the economic front. Everything is going on, like they are selling the stakes of PSUs. All the PSUs are running in losses. They are not taking care about that. BSNL is the case, HR is the case. They are not able to pay their employees their salaries, and here the private sector is getting all kinds of support, all kinds of write-offs in the loans and all. So all these things are going on. These are crucial issues, but our focus anyhow is shifted from these crucial issues to the nonsensical debates. And that's why in these news channels like Aaj Tak, G News and all, you will see all kinds of nonsensical debates, all kinds of nonsensical anchors are presenting these news, provoking people and presenting any kind of false information, just putting a question mark after that. So this way, this is all a distorted system, and that's the trouble. And this is a unique case which is showing us the reality. The Jharkhand case I'm talking about, that is again it's not a blot, it's not a simple trouble. It is just a starting of a destruction of this nation, because when mobs started killing people, then nothing is left, because this is something we need solution for. And for those solutions, there are governments, there are particular systems, whether it is presidency system, whether it's parliamentary system, but we need state there so that mobs will not kill people. But here, instead of this much big claims, there are mobs who are killing people. And on what reasons? Nonsensical reasons. The particular suspicion of the theft, just suspicion, not even the surety, just suspicion. And I'm very much sure that there was no theft which was there, because they wanted to kill that person. It was all their negative energies finding the channel there, and they were feeling so satisfied after killing that people, because the religion was the cause, and all kinds of filth and dirt is actually filled in their minds. And who has done that? This is all political reasons. And this is again a political reason that these kind of details we are having, these kind of people who are dying in these prisons. And what is the information that is spread? That all are drastic measures which are taken. These are against these heinous criminals. Maybe some are heinous criminals, but not all of them. Many are innocent people who are killed in these prisons, but no information is given. So how can we know about that? At least give all the information about that, so that we can know that whether they were criminals or not. Give information about these under trials. We want to know that these are criminals or not. Till now, trials are not completed. So how can you be sure that these are all criminals? 68% under trials, 68% people who are serving in these jails, you are not sure whether they are criminals or not. Somebody has arrested them with genuine reasons or not. So this is really shocking. Now this lynching Redux, combining with a communal motive. Clearly the particular vigilante justice which is there and executed by the mob. What is that mob? This is all a fear spreading tactic in the society. And why this is happening? Because people are supporting these kind of governments who are just blind to these issues, and they are being silent on these issues and ignoring these kind of drastic issues. Means they are somewhere backing these things that they can be continued in the future. And you see on what name they are killing these people, and who started these kind of debates, who is taking this Hindutva agenda, and why it is staying in this country. This country should have been on a progressive path, but is this the progressive path? What kind of thing is that? Nobody can imagine that. And if this thing is happening, then what is the logic of talking about development or something like that? What kind of development is there if mobs are killing people, any innocent people? You just imagine that condition when one person is tied to a pole and they are shouting on that person, they are beating that person blue and black, and they are saying that chant Jai Shri Ram or something like that. What is the meaning of that kind of religious fanaticism? And that person died. You just imagine their kids, their parents, condition of their family members, what they can do. Means nobody is there in this world to help these people. Who can save that person? from getting killed by these mobs. Means how many people would have been there in that mob? 50, 60, 100, 200. But cannot be they stopped. There is no police in this world, and nobody had cell phones in their hands, and nobody called the police there. But this is all a distorted system. And what kind of time we are living in, where we never heard these kind of things in the past, but this is happening now. Why? Because we are choosing those kind of criminals in the parliament and we are sending them. And that is the reason. And it is not about the politics. This is about the social issue, where questions will be asked to you by the UPSC. Your interview stage will check your mentality, your decision making, your approach, your inclination, and your liking for some leaders and all. So that's the reason. You will be on a very respectable and a very important and responsible positions where you need to tackle all these issues. So your mentality is very, very important. It is not just about the examination, it is being a right human being. And you see, your liking is so important, your issues are so important, because if you are educated one, then you can only recognize the problems in the society, because these people who are committing these kind of crimes, actually, who are held just as mobs and they are just getting away just because they were mob. So nobody will discuss these issues, nobody will recognize this, that this is a heinous crime. You will be able to recognize that. So you will have to have that particular mindset, that you can identify that as a problem and you can see a solution there. And for that you need to analyze this thing deeply. Why this is happening? Because you see, in this country there is a problem that we take things to our ego. If some liking is there for some leader, then people take it on their egos, that they have decided about their inclination, so we will support that blindly. We will not apply any kind of logic whether it is right or wrong, because we have decided that, so we'll defend it in any way. And when it is done by many people, then it's a collective ego, and it's very, very tough to beat that particular ego and show them a right path, because they will not accept that they are making some kind of mistake or not, because they have closed their eyes. So that's why even they are justifying these kind of murders. And this is not a simple murder, this is so horrible a murder. You just think about the psychological condition of those people who are related to that person, in what kind of fear they will live. Think about those kids. They have this fear that maybe tomorrow somebody will gather some people and they all will haunt that particular person. They may kill that person, tying him with some tree or some kind of pole. So this is the issue of psychological maintenance of the society and the collective psychology of the society. How you will see this issue. And you see the way the social media and all these media houses, which are totally they are just licking the feet of the political classes, the way they depict some personalities who are actually very criminal personality, and they depict them as very great people, that they are living so simple life and they are so respected people, they are always honest. But we do not know much about those people, but we know about them when they speak, when they come to the parliament, the way they chant their words, the way they talk in the temple of the democracy, and when they talk about the false information, and they talk this language of WhatsApp and Facebook pages and all, and this is all based on the false information. Nothing is proved in the court. So when they take those kind of references and they say that people should be thrown out of this country, then we know that what kind of people were they and why they were living that kind of isolated life, because they did not deserve a proper thing, because they are not a balanced person. They are somewhat distorted in their minds. But these kind of people, they are sitting on the highest positions today. So that is the case. And unfortunate is that people are so egoistic in this country that they will defend any kind of opinion they have made. At least go through these realities, open the eyes there, because this thing is so disturbing that any intellectual person or a logical person cannot remain silent on those issues. You are tying a person and killing that person, and people are justifying that in the name of religion. What kind of religion we are following here, and what kind of saving of this religion is happening in this country, where we would have gone towards becoming a developed country, and we would have talked about the economics, we would have talked about the machine learning, how it is taking the jobs, what kind of ways we can get there. We should have done debates on those topics every evening. But what we see every evening in these news media houses, and some are really destroying this nation on a daily basis. So you are the people who will be responsible, and you have to think about those things deeply. And certainly it's a very testing time, because it is all an age of distorted information, it is all an age of confusing information. So it's a great challenge for you to make an opinion about those things. So you have to apply your knowledge, you have to apply your experience, you have to apply your humanistic approach, you have to apply your knowledge there, and apply your logic ultimately, and you will have to decide about those issues. Because deciding about the issues which you encounter publicly, that is again a challenge today. So that is the case. Next, a city gone dry, again a very important issue. In Tamil Nadu, Chennai is a huge city and very much a blessed city, in a sense that it is the region which gets rains from both kinds of monsoons, southwest and northeast. But today the city is going dry, and all the surrounding cities are also getting a huge challenge there, because they need to manage the situation now again a political class, they say that it's all exaggerated justification, and it is not true. This kind of crisis is not there. But the writer says that please open your eyes and please do not get political here. This is so concerning, because you are having your non-stop supply. That does not mean that average person is getting the supply there, and it's a huge problem. There used to be many lakes in cities like these Chennai and Bengaluru. But what is the condition today? They are running out of water. Instead of that, there were many wetlands around those cities. But today they are going dry. And you see, it's a plateau region. South India is totally a plateau region. It is very difficult to dig any hole, dig any well there, or to create any kind of tank there. It's very difficult. But once they are created, then it's a permanent solution. But these storage, Central Water Commission, who is taking care about these storages, their data and all, so it says that around 90% of the major reservoirs of this country, they are going dry, and they are way below their average capacities. So it's a very testing time, a very difficult time. You see, very soon, maybe in a decade, we will have a condition where you will buy a water bottle of 1 liter with maybe 500, 1000 to 2000 rupees. This is a scenario in Middle East countries, and we in this country will have this scenario, and in many countries people will have this kind of scenario, because it's a huge concern. And being a tropical country, we will have a bigger challenge there. And in a small area, we are surviving as a huge population. 1.37 billion people are living here. How they are going to survive here when there is no drinking water, and food security is the next issue. So we have to address this issue. We have to do debates on these topics. How many times you have seen debates on these issues, apart from these sensational news and all, and the way they present these dramas and all? They're not talking on the actual lines, and they are not talking about the solutions, and they are not putting any kind of pressure which they can put on these officials and all these people who can arrange these particular solutions. You see, there must be a white paper with full assessment of these wetlands and their storages. As the writer says that there must be a white paper, and storage potential should be a priority for the state's sustainable water security missions. Many are running, and these kind of conditions, like when you build a house, then you must have a water harvesting unit there. That's a mandatory condition. So this should be strictly implemented in all the states, all over the country, in all the districts. So then only we can imagine a future there. Otherwise, even the future is difficult. It is all impossible. This is 2019. You suppose a condition in 2025. What is going to happen to Chennai? What is going to happen to Bengaluru? And what is going to happen to the North Indian cities? Because glaciers are melting with a very fast pace. Maybe by 2035, we will not have Ganga Yamuna flowing there, Brahmaputra flowing there, because glaciers will melt with a very fast pace. And they say that even the humanity can be wiped out by 2050. We may not survive. Some reports are there, and these are not telling you a kind of a drama or some kind of a sensation there. They are talking on true lines, because the way we are destroying this world, more and more ACs we are using, more and more machines we are using, more and more heated the environment is happening, more and more ACs we are using in the countries like India, developing countries, there is a drastic change. If we talk about 10 years earlier times, then out of 100, 5 people were using ACs. Today 25 people are using ACs. So that's the case, and that kind of development is there. So development is there, but at what cost? It is at our next generation's cost, their lives cost, and it is even our lives cost, and environment's cost, and ecosystems cost. So how many costs we will pay, and it is not possible for us to pay these kind of costs there. So that is the problem. And NGOs, civil societies, these kind of bodies, they can do tremendous work there. They need to be supported. And any kind of a suppression of the right report, that's the problem. This is the times when you may see a particular scenario that people are running out of water, and official statements, official informations, they will say that there is a pond and it is filled up with water. This kind of time we are living in. Totally false information can be there on the social media or on the mainstream media. So we have to aware about that, and that's why right information is the prime need there, and denying those informations it's a gravest type of crime. That's the case. So we need to do a collective effort there, and political class has to understand this. And you see, there must be actions. In the yesterday's article, there was a very important suggestion that there must be strict actions against political classes who are ignoring the basic rights, who are ignoring the right of presenting right information, who are suppressing the right of complaining by the people. So these people, they should be behind bars immediately, because this is the gravest crime in the democracy, that false information is spreading and the true information is totally suppressed. That's the problem. And out of this problem, all other problems are they are just increasing with the time. So that's the case. So if you talk about climate change, if you talk about mob lynching, if you talk about any Muzaffarpur issue, health issue, then right information is the prime need. And who is responsible? This information should always be out, that who is the responsible person and what kind of action can be taken there, so that in the future we will not get disturbed there over these issues. And these climate change issues, water scarcity issues, food security issues, they are the things which on which our existence depends. So this is really insane that how we can miss these issues, how we can ignore these kind of debates, and how we can replace these kind of things with the religious talks. That's really insane. Next, positive information, a very good information. We should applaud the government here that 1 crore households will be completed by 2020. The Hardeep Puri, Mr. Hardeep Puri, a former bureaucrat, he has taken this responsibility as the Urban Affairs Minister, and he says that all these missions like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and Amrut scheme, the Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transportation, and the Smart Cities Mission, here they are giving funds consistently, and 1.26 lakh crore committed for the scheme, these households, and 80 lakh are sanctioned, 48 lakhs are under construction, 26 lakhs are completed and handed over to the beneficiaries till now. So it's a huge thing, giving a roof over their head to a poor person. Nothing can be better than that in this problematic world. And if this thing is as a promise, then it's a great thing. So we have to see what kind of implementation would be there and what kind of result we will see in near future. Next is regarding a suppressed sector, that is MSME sector. It is having a big share in our exports, in our manufacturing, but they do not have those kind of monetary assistance like the big factories and these entrepreneurs. So always crying for the help, financial help. So now many external factors are there which are suppressing them more, like the plastic ban is there. So they are finding it very difficult to continue. So if there is a problem, financial problem due to some external factors, then RBI set up a particular committee, and it is headed by former SEBI chairman UK Sinha. It says that there must be a particular fund, 5,000 crore rupees distress assets fund for MSME sector, and it is the onus of creating this fund with the government. They will decide about that. They will manage this particular fund. And some other suggestions are there that the maximum loan which is given under the Mudra scheme, that should be raised to 20 lakh rupees from the present 10 lakh rupees, and the non-collateralized loans should also be there till 20 lakh rupees. Banks would for sure defy this move, because they are already very much disturbed, and they are always concerned about these priority sector lending issues, because they are mandated to give loans on a lower rate to these weaker sections like agriculture or any other weaker section, and MSME sector also, small businesses also, self-help groups also. So banks always complain that earnings are stuck because of these priority sectors, but actually today their earnings are stuck more with these higher earning sectors like the corporate sector and all, where they earn a lot of interest. But today their all earnings are stuck with those sectors. Why? Because of the political reasons there. That's the reason. So they should not hinder these processes, and they should accept these kind of things. These are the real sectors, and they are very much honest in their working, and they are really supportive our nation's growth. Maybe these corporateers and all, they are just going on because of their profits. They just care for their profits. But these MSME sectors, they are the real nation boosters. So we should support them at any cost. Next, a NITI Aayog index is out. Kerala is at the top. Other states, their data are also out. It's talking about the neonatal rate under 5 kids mortality rate, infant mortality rate, low birth weight, BMI of these mothers and these kids and all. So in these areas, you see Kerala, Tamil Nadu, these kind of southern states, they are always very nicely performing states. And in these schemes like the mother and child's care, the monetary support given to them, institutional deliveries, transportation of these pregnant ladies, their particular treatment, these facilities of nurses and doctors, these all things are way more robust if we compare them with states like the UP, MP, Bihar. These are actually the worst states in these terms. UP retained the worst performer tag here, and among 21 large states, Kerala continued to top the list there. And some things are important there because it is having the highest literacy rate and a very nice gender proportion there. So these things are contributed to these kind of achievements there, and that's a clear case. You see, the problem is more where the mothers are uneducated, they are coming from a backward area, low education is there in that region. So there always kids will be malnourished and underweighted and low BMI, and mothers would be anemic. That is the case seen everywhere in every case. And here there are states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu, they are taking care of their females, and that's why that there is a huge difference in northern India and southern India in case of genders. So that's why we see these kind of great achievements there. And this is the NITI Aayog's index. 23 indicators are there, and the graph shows the score secured by smaller states in composite health index prepared by NITI Aayog, and out of these indicators they are arranging these states. And the report added that among 8 empowered action group states, EAG states, which are the backward states, Rajasthan, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh showed improvement in overall performance, but the case of UP, Bihar, that has really troublesome till now. Next, a similar article regarding the stunted kids. By 2022, we have set many targets, housing for all and renewable energy. Many targets are shifted to 2022, but there is a reality. Away from those official claims, 1/3 population of all the kids in this country, every third child will be a stunted child. Stunted means a kid who should have flesh around its bones, but no flesh is there, just bones, just ribs, and totally stunted condition, no immunity and no nutrition, and no ability to fight the diseases there. So this kind of condition would be there for 1/3 of the kids, and it's way worse the situation in some states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. Their every second child would be a stunted child. You see, first the degree comes of malnourishment, then the wasting, then the stunting. It's all a case where you must have seen many pictures where a kid looks like a old age person. The skin looks very dry, and it's all lost its moisture and all, and it all happens when extreme level of malnutrition are there, and it would be the condition of 1/3 of the kids of this country, and it is way worse than some of the African countries. So what we are waiting for, and what we are discussing again the same issue. And this cannot happen without any ignorance by the system and the political classes. So again, we need political will here. And again, it is seen that children of illiterate mothers have higher chances of stunting, wasting, and being underweight. More than 60% of the women who are pregnant, they are anemic in this country. Why this is happening? Because of the poverty, the awareness issues, and the less education issues, and the patriarchy also. It's a big reason. So this is why mothers are not well, they are unhealthy, and their kids will be so. So if the kid is malnourished and it's stunted, then there will be no growth in its height or in its width. So that's the case. So this is given here, and you see a report which is baseline analysis of the country's progress in achieving the second sustainable development goal to end hunger. It is prepared by UN World Food Program WFP, and in Rome, that there is a headquarter there, and Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So again, the ministry, same ministry which is preparing that NSSO data and all. So they are giving this details, and we have this information, then we are known to these details, and we know there are extreme problems in our country. Otherwise, the official claims say that everything is great about this country and we have done all kinds of development and nothing is left to done, and just we are enjoying the times and it is the best time, we are the best governments. These kind of claims you always hear, but because the right informations are there, that's why we know about those hollowness of the claims. So that's why I say prime need is the right information. Whether we talk about economics, whether we talk about employment, whether we talk about these health statistics. So that's the case. But many informations are stuck. For some years, no employment data was there, and for years the NCRB's the crime report, that is also missing. So how can we know about the truth? Next, a very problematic news for the military fraternity. The disabled people who served in our Indian military, now their particular pensions, they will be taxed. Disability pension will be taxed, and you must remember, apart from their basic payments for these ministers, MPs and all allowances and everything, that is exempted from any kind of taxes. You just imagine the condition of this country. Ministers, they do not pay taxes, but the disabled people in the military, they have to pay taxes. This is the notification by the finance ministry. Great example here. CBDT has said on 24th of June that such tax exemptions will be available only to armed force personnel who have been invalidated from services on account of bodily disability attributed to or the aggravation by the such service. So only those people who are less in number, only they will be exempted. All others have to pay the taxes there. So that's the case. Next information about the Haryana government. The great Haryana government says that we will make this cow slaughter law very strict. Now we will replace the word cow with beef, means more people will be under their scanner, and if I talk directly, then they will take many more people and they will justify many more killing in the name of cow vigilantism. This is the reality. Because why? Because whatever they said in last 4-5 years about the cow and their production and all, what is the reality? Cow, maximum number of cows, they are roaming on the streets, they are creating menace there on the roads, they run in front of vehicles and all, they get killed, and because of those accidents many people are killed. That is the reality. A different reality is that in these goshalas, so-called their production centers and all, many cows, they are dying. No reporting of those informations that they are dying because of no fodder for them and many disease, no taking care, no doctors are available, just the politics in the name of cow and no taking care of that particular holy cow. And now in the name of official claims, they are bringing all laws and all. Why? They need to do politics. Why? Because there are elections in Haryana. So that is the reason, and that's why Baba Ram Rahim is will be out on bail. On what grounds? That he will do agriculture in his fields and his behavior has been very, very nice. So what else is left to said? If Ram Rahim will do agriculture, then it's a kind of a great slap on the farmers of this country who are dying, who are committing suicides in their farms because they are not able to get anything there. And Baba Ram Rahim will do the farming now, and he will be out from the jail. And what kind of crimes he has done, we all know about that. So this is all today's lesson. and we will meet again tomorrow and give your feedbacks. Maybe many people will not like my lesson, they will say that I am a biased person, but I am never hesitant to say the truth, because things are based on logic and that can be proved. Maybe the rhetorics, maybe those informations which some of the leaders are chanting there, they cannot be proved in court, but these kind of logic, these kind of details, these can be proved. So always be daring to say the truth. It is not about just the examination, it is not just about the a particular phase of interview or something like that. It is about being a proper human being also. If you are not a proper human being, you can never support a country, you can never support a society, and you will always live for yourselves, and there is no difference in you and a particular corrupt person who is just destroying all the system and everything. So ignorance is a huge problem today, and being aware and telling the truth is the real solution. Thanks a lot. Keep watching.